turned around while Sunlen was speaking because she seems so far away. There's so many rows and rows of seats. I want to bring in our political panel to talk about this crucial debate in the next few hours. Our political commentator, S.C. Cupp, joining me, along with political commentator and former Ted Cruz communications director, Amanda Carpenter, the former Michigan governor, Hillary Clinton supporter, Jennifer Granholm, Donald Trump supporter, Kayleigh McEnany, and our CNN chief political analyst, Gloria Borger. We are the women of the world here.
Yeah,
Yay.
love that.
All right. I just want to start off, Gloria, with, we were in Houston looking at a much smaller, more intimate space. This is a very big space. And a big part of what's happened in these debates thus far has been the booing and the clapping and the catcalling that may come from the audience. There's going to be a lot of people here tonight.
There's going to be a lot of people here. We at CNN try to keep that to
a minimum,
yeah. and try and get the audience evenly divided that way, although
yes.
Donald Trump has complained about that. There are going to be a lot of people here, but there are going to be fewer people on that debate stage. And so what you're going to see now is these candidates understand that this is it for them. Marco Rubio, stakes could not be higher. He's got to win the state of Florida, or I would argue that's it. He says he's got to win. He's not said he would pull out, but he's got to do well. Right. John Kasich, this is all about getting to Ohio. Cruz, this is about being the alternative. And Trump, I think this is about trying to be presidential, okay? Because he's now at a point in this race where he is the clear front runner, and he needs to start acting like a president.
Don't you think he's going to go after Kasich, though?
Absolutely.
If others go after him, I bet he responds.
And that's the question. So Donald Trump says he wants to be more presidential, softer tone, Kayleigh. He says that, but then someone comes after him, and all of a sudden it almost seems that he cannot control himself. The Donald Trump, the real Donald
Right,
Trump stands
like.
up. Will he be able to hold back?
I think he will. We saw in the last debate exactly what you're mentioning, where he took this presidential tone in the beginning, but when he was attacked by Rubio, it descended quickly. However, Donald Trump, I think
literally it descended.
It did. I think we're going to see a different Donald Trump
Literally.
tonight, and he has to point to those moments. For instance, if Rubio calls him a con man, he needs to take that and turn it around to substance and say, really, I'm the con man? What about you, who were elected by the state of Florida but didn't show up to vote on the omnibus bill? You told them you were against amnesty before you were for amnesty. You are the real con man. He's got to use those moments and turn it to
You don't
substance.
think you should call him Little Marco
Yeah,
again?
listen, Donald Trump cannot change who he is. He has turned our debates into political performance art. That is not going to change tonight. It's just a matter of who he's going to aim the fire at. And I think you're absolutely right. John Kasich is performing pretty well in Ohio. Now Donald Trump is saying, if I finish well, if I win Florida and Ohio, I'm the nominee. He's going to come after John Kasich. And John Kasich has not engaged in this so far. If he gets a hit and doesn't return fire, he's going to look really weak.
Well, he's got a big decision to make on how to do that. And then, of course, you have Ted Cruz, who's coming out to show he's the alternative and show he's the one who can actually win this. He came out today, Amanda, talking about a certain, quote-unquote, demographic of voters that's going for Donald Trump. Yeah. Let's see what you think, whether it was an insulting thing to say or not. Here's Ted Cruz today.
Donald does well with voters who have relatively low information, who are not that engaged, and who are angry, and they see him as an angry voice. Mm-hmm. Where we are beating him is when voters get more engaged and they get more informed.
More informed. What does that mean? Is he just saying they don't know what they're talking about? Is he saying they're not intelligent? What is he trying to say?
Well, here's the thing. Donald Trump supporters are attracted to his personality, the way that he projects strength. If his voters were concerned about his inconsistencies in policy positions, they wouldn't be Donald Trump supporters. And I think along the way, Cruz has learned that the base of Donald Trump support isn't going anywhere, and it's easier for him to get voters from other candidates like Marco Rubio, like John Kasich, than it is Donald Trump.
But Desi, he's winning now. He's winning highly educated. He's winning people who are not highly educated. Yeah. He's winning across all demographics.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think this was smart of Ted Cruz. For one, I think you can patently say it's patently false that Trump supporters are not engaged. A lot of these are first-time caucus goers. Trump is bringing out people who traditionally weren't engaged in the political process. And whether they, have researched his record or care, I don't really think is the point. And at some point, Ted Cruz hopes to get these voters. And at some point, if Ted Cruz does get these voters and makes it to a general election, he will need all of them to come out and support him. So I'm not sure that this was a politically wise way to frame this argument. I get his frustration, but I think he could have done a better job.
We have
Put up
paused
your
for one
feet,
moment.
Break out the popcorn. That's
Yeah.
all I can say from the Democratic's point of view.
Exactly.
All right, everybody, please stay with me. Donald Trump promising to soften his tone at tonight's debate. Does this really sound